Good morning. These are your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Thanks for listening. I'm Alex Batman. The high suicide rate in Idaho is under scrutiny during Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in September. Public News Service reports the state had the fourth highest suicide rate in the nation in 2023. The Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline is among the organizations working to reduce that number. The hotline fields calls in Idaho to 988, the suicide prevention number established nationwide in 2022. Hotline Director Lee Flynn says the number of calls to her organization has increased in the past 3 years. They have also established a statewide mobile response team that's available 24/7.
When a person needs more support than we can provide by telephone or by text, we are now able to dispatch a mobile crisis team. And these teams are in-person teams of 2 people who can really meet a person where they're at and provide face-to-face crisis support.
There were more than 450 deaths by suicide in 2023, according to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. It was the 7th most common cause of death that year. However, the Idaho Crisis and Suicide Hotline has faced hurdles to serving people under the age of 18 since a law went into effect last year, requiring parental consent for the medical treatment of minors. Flynn says her line can help in cases where someone's life is in danger, but in other situations where the young person is asked to get parental consent for treatment, some choose to hang up instead.
That's not ideal because they might still be struggling. They might still need someone to talk to. And that's precisely one of the challenges that we're having in providing crisis support within this law.
A bill was introduced during this year's legislative session to correct the unintended consequence of the parental consent law and passed in the Senate but stalled in the House. Flynn says there are other ways to accommodate young people on the hotline. She says parents sometimes call 988 to show their kids what the service is like.
They can call us and just say, hey, I'm calling with my son, I'm calling with my daughter, and I just wanted to let them know what happens when a person calls 988. And a parent can also call us and give consent for their child to talk to us, and we can keep that on file.
For resources beyond the 988 lifeline, check out idahocrisis.org. This year, Experience Rexburg is celebrating its 25th anniversary, and it's set to be a big celebration. According to the Standard Journal, about 7,000 people are expected to be in attendance, all with one focus at heart: to share the community of Rexburg with the new college students and the local community. There will be 106 different food vendors attending, selling different varieties of food and other products. Other businesses set to appear at the event include gyms, banks, counseling, and insurance offices. Games and activities like a rock climbing wall and more will also be a part of the festivities. Experience Rexburg's 25th celebration will take place on September 20th at Porter Park from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The National Park Service is reopening a few rivers in Yellowstone National Park for fishing. Effective immediately, there are no temperature-related restrictions on rivers park-wide. Select rivers and streams that were partially closed are now opened without restriction. According to EastIdahoNews.com, a news release states that the following rivers and streams are now open for fishing: the Madison River and all tributaries, the Firehole River and all tributaries, the Gibbon River and all tributaries downstream of Norris Campground. After the partial closures earlier this season, park staff continued to check on rivers and streams and have determined that conditions have allowed the restrictions to be lifted. These have been your BYU-Idaho Radio morning headlines for September 9th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in. More news, interviews, and great content are available on our podcast feed. Search for BYU-Idaho Radio on your favorite podcast apps. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. You can also ask your smart speakers to play KBYI 94.3 FM. This is BYU-Idaho Radio, and I'm Alex Batman.